You step onto the creaking porch of the old cabin, the wood familiar beneath your fingers. Though years have passed since you last visited, a soft wind stirs the trees that skirt the edges of the clearing, sending a shudder through the branches like whispered secrets. The cabin rests in the heart of the wilderness, distant from the clamor of the town, nestled under a canopy of stars that seem to shimmer just a tad too brightly against the deep black of the night. As you push the door open, it groans as if reluctant to yield, revealing the dim interior. Shadows stretch and sway with the flicker of your flashlight, and the beam dances over the splintered wooden walls adorned with fading photographs of family gatherings long since forgotten. The musty smell of aged wood mixes with something faint, a hint of mildew that lingers in the corners, obstinate and pervasive. You step inside, the door thudding shut behind you, locking out the prying gaze of the nighttime wilderness. There's comfort in this isolation, a refuge from the worries that have chased you into this solitude. This is a place of memory, yet tonight it feels different, almost like a stranger wearing a familiar face. Setting your bag on the rough-hewn table, your gaze travels across the room, a melange of relics from the past. The old couch, once a vibrant shade of red, now lies faded and threadbare. In the far corner, a fireplace gathers dust, its hearth bereft of use. There are no crackling flames to keep you warm on this chill night. You pull your sweater tighter around your shoulders and try to banish the creeping sense of wrongness that stirs in the pit of your stomach. You glance outside through the grimy window. The moon casts a silvery glow, but the surrounding woods remain an inky black, stirring with secrets and hushed whispers. A hint of worry clouds your mind, disregarded old tales of the lost and the forsaken that clung to the shadowy corners of this place. You take a deep breath and shake your head, reassuring yourself. You're just here to unwind, to find solace in silence. The night wanes on, yet the stillness grows heavy, like an unseen weight pressing down on you. You try to carve out some comfort in the glow of your flashlight, rummaging through drawers and closets, seeking anything to pass the time. A few old dishes, some dusty books, the usual trappings of abandonment. But as you sift through the neglected possessions, something catches your eye. A small door at the base of the stairs, one you don't remember seeing before. It's locked, the rusted handle stiff and unyielding, but curiosity gnaws at you. Setting your flashlight down, you trace your fingers along the frame, feeling the grain of the weathered wood and the chill of the iron hinges beneath your skin. Why had you never discovered this door in the countless summers spent here? Your heart beats a little faster as you hear a creak echo up the stairs, a noise that makes the hair on your arms stand straight. Perhaps it's just an animal, a raccoon looking for an easy meal, but the thought does little to ease your nerves. You quickly dismiss it. It's been years since anyone has stayed in this cabin. You turn your focus back to the door as your attempts to open it yield no results. You decide to let it lie for a moment and claim the modest upstairs for your own. Old quilts await you, faded cotton patterns swirling with images of flowers and landscapes, comforting fabric laced with nostalgia. Sinking into the lumpy mattress, you tuck yourself in, allowing your eyelids to flutter closed as exhaustion washes over you. Yet sleep stays elusive, the cabin itself seeming to shift, the walls breathing gently as though aware of your presence. Hours pass, each tick of the clock seeming to echo in the silence. Just as you start to slip into a fitful sleep, a sound jolts you awake, a low thud, deep and resonant, from beneath the stairs. The noise courses through your veins, a spine-tingling command to remain still, to listen. Your thoughts are a whirlwind, heart thrumming as the echo reverberates, clear and deliberate, as if something is awake in the serendipitous embrace of the night. You hesitate, caught in a dance between fear and a primal urge to know. Your flashlight flickers for a moment before you rise from the comfort of your blankets, taking a deep, steadying breath. Each step toward the staircase feels like an eternity as you grip the banister, peering down into the shadowy entrance to the unknown. The bottom of the stairs yawns ahead, cloaked in darkness, and there's an unsettling quality to it, something helplessly wrong. An instinct tells you to flee, to retreat into the safety of your blankets, but you can't rid yourself of the need for answers. With trembling hands, you navigate down the staircase, breath held tight in your throat, the wood creaking beneath your weight. Your flashlight filters light across the space, settling on a small pile of odd items scattered on the floor. Old, beaten trinkets emerge in the light, rusted coins, worn buttons, and what looks like a child's toy, a tiny, broken figure of a dog with one glass eye. You bend down to inspect it, brushing away a layer of dust. Each item evokes a wave of nostalgia, pieces of a life lived long ago, tales unfinished. Yet wrapped around these memories are tendrils of disquiet, the sensation of being watched creeping along the back of your neck. The cabin, once your sanctuary, now feels like a vessel of buried stories, and they stir beneath the surface, urging you to leave this place behind. As you turn the dog toy over in your palm, you hear it again, a breathy whisper, as if someone was speaking directly behind you. You whip around, but the looming shadows boast no answers. Your heart races, and in a rush of instinct, you bolt up the stairs, the remnants of your curiosity melting into dread. Back in the loft, you slam the door behind you, the latch clicking into place as if to seal the horrors below. You sit for a moment, trembling and panting, trying to catch your breath, but your body remains tense like a coiled spring. Sleep feels impossible now, the calm finally shattered. You search for solace in the quilt, wrapping yourself tighter, every sound now amplified in the oppressive silence. Time drips slowly, the night stretching endlessly around you. Then, as if a switch flips, your pulse thrums in your ears, a consistent, rhythmic drumbeat growing louder. You turn your head toward the window, drawn by the slightest movement outside. At first, you see nothing, just a twirling dance of shadows beneath the fringed canopy of trees. But then, a flash, a flicker of white, a pale figure standing just within the tree line. You squint, your breath catching. It stands motionless, not moving, but you can feel its gaze piercing the veil of darkness, hitching your breath in your throat. A jolt of icy fear rushes through you as the figure shifts slightly. There's something deeply familiar about the silhouette, a whisper of recognition twined with the creeping horror boiling in your gut. Is it someone lost wandering through the woods? An echo of the childhood memories you once held with such fondness? Eyes trained on the figure, you feel time stretched taut, every second suspended in air, thick with anxiety. You step back, shunning the window and pulling the quilt over your head like a shield. You know it isn't safe, the stillness outside fraught with an unseen tension that wraps around you, smothering every remaining thread of comfort. You listen intently, waiting for any sound, the echoing pulse of your heart, the only reassurance as uncertainty weighs heavily around you. Then, unmistakably, you hear it again. The whispers, closer now, as if the very walls of the cabin are breathing your fears back at you. Desperate to drown out the noise, you bury your head deeper into the quilt, your senses racing as your mind begins to weave together the fabric of dread. Perhaps it's just the cabin settling, but you can't shake the feeling that something presses on the door, testing your barrier. Hours dissolve into one another, the night unwilling to part, with its hold until dawn finally breaks, light spilling through the grimy window like a reluctant promise. The fading darkness clings to the edges of the room, reluctant to be displaced. You peek out from your cocoon, the events of the night so surreal they feel like a distant nightmare, yet to be chased away. The pale figure is gone, but the air remains heavy with unspoken words. You sit still for a moment, weighed down by the residual fear, but driven by an insatiable curiosity. You gather yourself, fingers brushing the tiny dog toy still clutched in your hand, and look toward the door at the base of the stairs once more. With tentative resolve, you descend again, this time steeling yourself against the anxiety that grips your gut. The cabin yawns wide beneath you, shadows deep and rich in the light that pierces the gloom. Pushing aside your fears, you take a breath, relishing the fragments of light that shine down through the windows. You approach the small door, gripping the handle with trembling fingers, the cool metal grounding you. But as you tug at it, it still remains locked. A low sensation of frustration wells up inside you, the need to uncover the secrets of this place overwhelming your senses. Searching the main room for something, anything that might help, your heart skips as you see it tucked away in a box. An old key, ornate yet unassuming in design, its surface marred by the weight of years. Fingers shaking, you hurry back to the door, slotting the key into the lock, with hope sparking like summer fireflies. You twist it, and the mechanism clicks open. You grip the handle, the dry wood cold against your palm, and take a slow breath. With a steady push, you swing the door wide open. Inside, it's darker, not even the faintest glimmer of light entering from the cabin. The room is small, barely bigger than a closet, walls lined with something that resembles fabric. Though even from the threshold, you can see it's not textile but something else, something alive. Glints of eyes peer back at you, images flickering across your mind's eye too rapidly for recognition. Figures, all lost, all staring at you in accusatory silence. Heart racing, adrenaline surging, you step inside, the door clicking shut behind you. The choking darkness wraps around you, and you fumble for your flashlight. Its beam cuts through the blackness, revealing a collection of remnants. Children's toys intermingled with bits of attire, tattered fabric, woven with memories that seem to shimmer like trapped fireflies trying futilely to escape. Then you see it, the figures, not human, but the ghosts of children long forgotten, their expressions twisted in anguish, the sorrow and fear leaking through their flimsy forms, reaching past time into your chest. You stand paralyzed, rooted in place as the shadows wrap around you more tightly than a hug. They all seem to point, a silent plea, desperately begging for release. You stagger back, terror blooming, and scramble at the door, only to find it stubbornly refusing to budge. You tug at the knob, panic crescendoing as you slam against it, but it remains locked tight, trapping you within a nightmare of memories and lost souls pleading for recognition. Then the whispers swell again, rising to a cacophony around you, each voice rising and falling like the churning tide. Desperation fills the air, and you grasp at fragments, each a memory, each a life composed of fragments held together by the shackles of the past. You feel their sorrow seep into you, a weight crushing your chest, blurring the lines between your identity and theirs. Fighting against the tide, you turn to the door again, fingers clawing against the smooth surface, an urgent need to break free. A wrenching noise resonates within, a guttural force building to an unbearable crest, pulsing as the walls seem to shake. Just when you think you'll be swallowed whole, the door bursts open, spilling in light from the cabin, the stillness shattering as you tumble out, gulping air as you hug the edge of the wall. You make it back into the main room, collapsing onto the floor, gasping for breath. The sunlight darts through the windows, yet the remnants of darkness still coil in the corners, flicking at the edges of your vision. You know you need to leave this place, but a lingering sense of wrongness nests in your mind, an echo of the whispers colliding with thoughts of exposure. Did you disturb something best left forgotten? You rise, trembling and disoriented, and take a final glance back at the small door. It's shut tight, an impenetrable barrier standing guard over the darkness within. You turn from it, stumbling toward the front door. Yet, as you reach to pull it open, you pause. Outside, the woods stretch into the distance, but something presses against your mind, whispering those tangled words again. The children lost, the figures flickering in the shadows. A need for acknowledgement that far exceeds your own understanding. You know now, they're not merely memories, but echoes of something trapped, an energy lingering, waiting for recognition. You step back, consideration washing over you. Is this indeed an isolated cabin, or merely a facade? Flickers of doubt rise like shadows, obscuring your clarity. You take a breath, adrenaline and fear wrestling for control, unsure whether you should speak their names, whether to utter a release or turn toward the safety of the wilderness. Standing on the threshold between safety and that foggy door, doubt anchors you. Behind you, the past calls, and outside, the woods whisper in that languid breeze. The sun drips low on the horizon, shadows stretching more lengthy than time allows. The echoes swell again, pulling you back, the urge to descend upon the figures hidden beneath the veil of memory. As the shadows begin to whisper once more in the distance, the air thickens, and you realize there's no escaping them. They remain a part of your journey, a haunting tether to something easily dismissed, yet profoundly felt. What happens next, what choice you make, will tether you, an ambiguous dance upon the line of reality and forgetfulness as dusk again sets in, a dawning that swallows light yet cradles shadows, like a memory begging to be unearthed. You stand frozen on that precipice, the past and present converging like intertwining branches, waiting to see where your heart's yearning will lead. There may be no answers, yet the fabric of darkness within whispers promises of both peace and awakening, melding into the very essence of who you might yet become. You renew your resolve, but the decision sits heavy on your mind, waiting to unfurl itself in the deep quiet of that night, the whispers curling in the fringe of your consciousness, leading you to discover what is yet to come. If you let go, will they find peace or remain eternally tethered? And as the silence settles, the sun drapes its warm fingers across the clearing, the echoes linger in an eternal murmur, etching your story against the fabric of time, forever entwined with what lies in the shadows, waiting to be uncovered.